Greetings, everyone. This is Des.
And Chris.
Today is June 11th, 2025, and it is time for an airplane collection update because I have been collecting airplanes now for almost 1 year, at least 1 year. It was definitely last June in 2024 that I started all this. And hopefully, quick story on how that happened. I was bored and I was looking for videos to watch. And I remembered that when I was a teenager, I used to watch Mayday Air Disaster on cable TV. So I started watching those, and then Chris came home early one day and asked me what I was watching, right, baby?
Oh, yeah.
And I told him what it was, that it was an investigation show about plane crashes. And I picked an episode that I thought he might like, and I showed it to him.
Right? Oh, yeah, it was the Hawaiian flight disaster episode. Yep.
So he liked it, and we've been watching it. He's been hooked ever since. And when they show that they have little models, I would be like, "Oh, that plane is so cute! I want one! I want one!" And that's what happened. Alrighty, so let's start, I guess, with the obvious. Let's start with the airport. Now, I made this out of foam board last year. This is Tampa International Airport, but it's the old Tampa Airport from the 80s and 90s. This is the old Terminal D, and I never went on with this because this is the smallest building, and I realized how huge it is, and we don't have a lot of room in the house. So I'm going to start with the planes that are at this terminal. Now, that tower is not the Tampa Tower. It's Indiana, but it's shorter than ours, but it's the exact same build, so I got that anyways. Because it's perfect. It really looks like it belongs there. That's why it's backwards. Alright, so starting over here, we have a classic Taka from the 80s. This used to be El Salvador's airline, and I used to fly on this a lot. You can see the little scarlet macaw there. I love this airline. And the colors of blue, yellow, and red just look so beautiful together. We've got these little jet bridges that we got at the Orlando show, if you guys saw that. Here we have a Knock Air 10th anniversary. Knock is probably my biggest fleet that I own, and my favorite airline because they look like birds. The faces are painted, the eyes are like the cockpit windshield. Looks like they're wearing sunglasses, so they're really cool birds. And this one's just beautiful with all the pinks and greens. Next up is another of my absolute favorite ones. This is Alaska Airlines Salmon 30 Salmon. This plane is no longer painted in these colors, but it's a shame because it was a gorgeous airplane. And now we have the Alaska West Coast Wonder here. And this airplane is the airplane that started it all for me for my 400 scale. This is my first 400 scale airplane that I ever got. So cute. And now we've got, over here, we've got a Southwest. This is Freedom 1, and it's beautiful. And this one actually lands at Tampa International Airport. So that's why I put it here at the terminal. Next up, we've got Trump Force 1 with the new American flag on the tail. It's really nice. Alright, we've got a classic Pan Am 727 here. And because it's a classic, I figured it would need air stairs instead of a jet bridge. Now this airplane over here, this one's really special. I've got a story about this one. This is a Pan Am 747 called Clipper Ocean Spray. I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but here on the side, the Pan Am planes had their names, which is really, really cool. I bought this plane used, and I'm so happy because I had been looking and looking. Hello, Arthur. Thank you. I love this plane so much. So this is N744PA, which is the registration number that's on the tail here. It's okay if the camera can't see it. I flew on this airplane in July of 1991 from Miami to London and then back home again from London to Miami. on my European trip, which was my 16th birthday gift my mom gave me. And it was incredible. I rode in the back or in the middle, I don't remember. Wish I could have gone upstairs, but I'll never forget it. And the other thing that's really cool about this airplane is if you look here on the side, it's got the yellow ribbon to commemorate the Desert Storm. And back then, the nation was all behind this war and very patriotic. And so was I, and I was just now getting into military planes. So that's the story behind that plane. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's start with our narrow bodies. So we've got a Knock airplane here that's white and pink mostly. Definitely a cute bird. Then we've got this little green one here. And that one looks like a lovebird to me, so I call him Lovebird. And then this one is one of my all-time favorites. I call that one Bullet because I used to have a budgie girl named Bullet the Budgie. And it really reminds me of her being so girly. This is my newest Knock here. This is also a budgie airplane, and I showed him in the last video from our Orlando airline collectible show. And that one looks like a green budgie. Next up, we've got this green macaw. I think it's a macaw. It's got that white cheek patch. So it looks like a green military macaw to me. So after that is a Southwest in a special color. This one is called Florida 1. Now this one's really cool. Okay, so this is the Great Seal of the state of Florida. This is found on our state flag. And if you stand down here, like at passenger level, and you look at the engine, it should line up to the point where the picture is almost seamless. It's when you see this airplane in real life, it's just super amazing, and I'm so thankful that I was able to find one. Next up, we have a Delta. I think this is a MD-88. I don't remember. And really, with the more modern paint job that Delta has, there's nothing really special about this airplane. But the reason I bought it is because I have been on that plane. Not the exact airplane model number or tail number, but I have been on a Delta MD-88 from Miami to Orlando. Over here, we've got the famous Concorde. This one's from British Airways. And this is a beautiful, beautiful jet. They retired them back in the early 90s, I think. Late 80s or early 90s. It's a real shame because this was their only supersonic passenger plane. And one of the great things they did with this airplane was they tracked an eclipse over Africa. And they were able to keep up with the speed of the moon for about half an hour or something like that. But the moon finally got away from them. But that's amazing. Is anything about that's your favorite plane, right, baby?
Oh, yeah, I would have loved to have been on that.
Me too. I think it came to Tampa, and I missed out on it. Okay, so that should be it for the narrow bodies. Now, for the wide body passenger planes, we'll start with this United Airlines 767. Beautiful, beautiful, the old paint job, the old livery. I think it was called Saul Bass. I guess that's the artist who came up with it. It's got the U, the letter U for United, with the orange and the blue, and then the stripe is orange, blue, and red, which is really neat. Next up, we have a 747 with flaps down. That one's by JC Wings, and the box on that is really, really pretty too. Next up, we have classic Delta. This is how I remember the Delta paint job looking. I grew up with that. And as you can tell, most of these airplanes, if I have a choice, I'm going to go with the classic 80s and 90s look to it. So this is an MD-11. And next to it is also an MD-11, American Airline, in the classic colors. Nowadays it's called bare metal, which is weird, but a lot of the airplanes back then, they didn't bother to paint them. They just put the the logos on them and the letters, which was really neat to see so many shiny planes that way. Wish airplanes were still painted the way they were back then, because they're not so nice anymore. And airplanes were made of metal back then. All right, here we have a Pan Am A300. And I got this one because the name of it is Clipper Tampa. I don't know if it'll show up, but on the nose it's got the name. Okay, so I have all three of the ANA turtles from Japan. These are A380s and they're beautiful. So this is Lonnie, the blue turtle. And then we have the green turtle, whose name is Kai. And then we've got the orange turtle, the only female, named Kala. She's got little eyelashes right there. Really cute. And I love these. I would love to go to Hawaii, because these guys fly between Hawaii and Tokyo back and forth. It would be really cool to go to Hawaii, get on one of these, go to Tokyo, and come back. Right, baby?
Yeah. I'd love to go to Japan.
This is a Knock Scoot. This is a Thai Airlines 777. It's got the little bird on the tail, and it also has a bird face like the Knock Air. And it was the only one they ever made like that. So I thought it was really neat. Alright, next up I got my 3 KLMs. I got my, I think this is a 767. I love KLM. I have never flown on KLM, but I just love the color of blue. It's so pretty. This was the exception. This one's name is called Orange Pride, and it's painted based on the government colors of the Netherlands. So that's a 777. And then we've got the 100th anniversary. Just wow, a 747 and 100th anniversary. Can you believe that an airline has been around that long? And of course, the first successful airplane flight was with the Wright brothers in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina in 1903. All right, next up we've got the cargo planes. So we'll start over here with some of my favorites. We've got 2 Prime Airs. We've got a Prime Air 737. This little plane flies over our house about every other day, which is great, at Lake Linder Airport. We also have a 767, which I don't have here, and that's one I've been trying to find with absolutely no luck. So it's the regular 767-300ER. This guy here is an Airbus A330-300, much bigger than the other 2 planes. This one does not come here to Lakeland, but it's an awesome looking airplane. Next up we've got an interactive DHL. Now this plane is really neat because you can display it with the doors open. This is by Gemini Jets, and it's amazing to me how nicely the doors come on and off, or you can display it. It's got closed door option as well. Now contrast that though with my UPS 747, which we've got an emergency vehicle here because we've lost engine number 1. Roll the trucks, get them out here, repair the airplane. The engine popped off. I barely touched it. I am very disappointed in this particular model. It's brand new. We got it at the Orlando show. If you look at this back cargo door here, you see the white there? It doesn't go in seamlessly like the DHL one does. And I think it has to do with the paint being too thick for the little slots. Same with the nose cone. They're just, in fact, I'll take it off and I'll show you guys. Okay, well that'll have to do. There's these tiny little prongs, and they're supposed to go inside. I'm afraid to touch this thing. It's so delicate. It's stupid. If you can see right here, there's a tiny hole, and you're supposed to put it in there, and I think it's the same problem, that the paint is too thick for the size of the holes. And then the engines are super delicate. Out of all these planes, I've never broken an engine. That's messed up. And you know I'm very careful with these things, right, baby?
These are your babies.
Yeah. All right, moving on. But I love these UPS. We got a UPS old MD-11. I'm trying to track down the MD-11 in the 90s colors, which was mostly brown. That was so cool. I missed that. And it had the stripe all the way around the plane. And then we've got a 767. So 767, MD-11, and 747. And then coming back over here, we have the famous giant, used to be the biggest airplane in the world, Antonov 225 with 6 engines. This was a Ukrainian cargo plane that carried airplane parts, like entire fuselages and wings and just massive cargo like that. Beautiful plane. All right. This guy here is the Airbus Beluga XL. Number 4 in particular. You can see the 4 here on the tail. And he's an interactive series. This one is made by JC Wings, and I got it used, and he's in very good condition. And I think JC Wings has done a much better job. You can take the big melon part out of it, and then you can put like a fuselage of a 737 in there. And if you look at the prongs on this thing, it's just a much better design. I don't know if you can see inside the whale's mouth how they go in. Let's see if I can get it on. There we go. Just like that. So simple. And now he's open and ready to receive cargo. So we've got this FedEx 767, and this one's unique because it's got the 100th logo back here on the tail, and this is this was a gift that Chris gave me. This was a birthday gift, and I didn't know it was a special livery. So cool. So that means FedEx bought this as their 100th 767 plane, which is cool. And then we have our other FedEx, another MD-11. Can you guys tell I love MD-11s? And the only way you can see them nowadays anymore is through cargo carriers. And this one's in the original livery, the original logo and color that FedEx used to have. So you can compare here the old color to the new color, and once again you can see the big difference of what I keep saying, that airplanes were prettier and better back then. It's a big difference. Lastly, we have our military section, which is tiny. We've got Air Force One, 747. Oh, gotta love Air Force One. It flew all around the nation when Trump took office last year, which was pretty neat. I didn't get to see it. I've never seen it in real life. And then we've got a 3D printed, I forget who
F-22 Raptor?
Yes. I forgot who I got it from. I'll put the name on the screen. And they did a very good job. There were 3 of them. And so now I've got a little Raptor to go with all my passenger planes. So there we go. That's the collection so far. It's a lot bigger. We had to bring it out here in the kitchen because they didn't fit on my little pink art table that we had last year.
No. But this is a good problem to have.
Yes. Oh, and last thing I want to show, this this little book I got from Alaska Airlines a year ago when I bought the West Coast Wonders. I made a mistake. I just looked at the picture and I assumed that this was going to be a 5x7. It's more like a 2x3 or something. It's tiny. Luckily, I decided to use it as my log to keep track of all my airplanes. So I've got everything written down in there with details of what I've bought, and it's been very helpful. And it's very cute. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the update. I can't believe it's been a year that I've been collecting, and one day I hope to have room to actually work on an official airport and have this displayed.
Yeah, baby, I know you will.
Alrighty, Des.
And Chris.
Signing off.